guys, sorry to interrupt your video. Just a quick plea, subscribe to my channel please. If you haven't done it already, subscribe. Tell your friends, subscribe. Thanks. Here we again. Right, pedestrian crossings. This question keeps coming up and up and up again, and despite me writing a document for people to read, people still don't quite get it. So I'm going to talk about the document, okay? So if you go to my website, obviously you don't need to anymore because I'm just about to talk about it, but you know, you're watching the video, aren't you? However, it is on my website. If you go to student area and you've got downloads lesson topics, halfway down here somewhere there's a bit that says you need to know this, and you do need to know this. Make sure you read it. All right, pedestrian crossings, there it is. Now here's a pedestrian crossing document that I prepared earlier, so let's go through this bad boy and I'll try to explain it all to you. There are 7 types of pedestrian crossing because I'm including animals and things like this. You've got zebra, lollipop, pelican, puffin, toucan, staggered and pegasus. I'll try and explain them all to you. Now it's really important that you understand the basic traffic light sequence because people get this confused all the time. Red means stop. Amber means stop. If you read the highway code, it means stop. Green means go, right? So if you see any of this, it means stop. Only green means go. You could think of the amber light as a get ready, that sort of thing. So I've got red and amber. So it's stop, but get ready. So if you're stopped and you're getting ready, you must be going to green, right? If you then get a single amber, it means stop, but I think of it like a tomato. It's sort of ripening, because you get green ones that become yellow that they would go to a full red after they fully ripen. So I'm thinking of it like, okay, I got a green one, now it's going yellow, so therefore it's heading towards red. So, but it means get ready, and then it goes red. Okay, so the traffic light sequence is red, red and amber, green, amber, red. So you don't get amber on its own, and it's not like a guesswork as to which one comes next. You just learn the sequence. You're a winner. You can also get this type of traffic light if you get lines. These are for trams. Now the way I think about it is I think about the railway tracks. Okay, so here's a line I prepared earlier. Now if you're on a tram and you were heading that way, you can do that. If somebody suddenly ripped up the track and placed one that way, you couldn't proceed anymore because there's a bit of track cutting across your path. So on a traffic light, if this was a white line going that way, then that tells trams to stop, and only when it goes like that they can carry on again because the track is now angled to allow a tram to go along it. We obviously ignore that because we're not driving trams. Then you get these filter arrows. Arrows tell you that traffic going in that direction get to go early. Alright, so what this means is that on the main road, traffic going ahead must stop, but anybody turning right can turn right and trams can go. That's what that traffic light means. Next, okay, general rules. Remember, you can go and read all of this. Basically, don't be a numpty. Don't park on pedestrian crossings, even if the traffic lights are green. On the driving test, if you go into this area and you stop and the traffic light stays green, you will get a driver fault or minor. If a pedestrian comes along, presses the button and the traffic light goes red, you have just failed your driving test. Do not stop in a place that stops people coming across your path, and that could be a side road as well. If you block a junction, you're going to get marked down. If an ambulance turns up, you have failed, or a car, anyone. If you block somebody's ability to traverse, then you are failing. Do not stop in a place where people might need to get across you. All right, so you must not park on a crossing or in the area covered by the zigzags. This lot, they're fine, they're not parked, they're just queuing in traffic. But if you were to park your car in there, no. You must not overtake the vehicle nearest to the crossing. Now the way to think about that is if you're in Farnborough Town Centre, we've got an urban dual carriageway near McDonald's, where we've got 2 lanes that head that way and 2 lanes that go that way. Right, now if you had a car in the left hand lane stationary at a pedestrian crossing, presumably it's because there's a pedestrian on the crossing, so anybody in the right hand lane is not allowed to go past the car that's at the front. Obviously if there were 3 cars you can go past the 3 up to there, but you're not allowed to overtake the front one until the crossing is clear. Alright, if you see somebody approaching, or sorry, if you can't see if someone is approaching a crossing because of parked cars, approach slowly, check. Always assume that somebody's going to step out in front of you. Just like you do when you're coming up to a junction. Basically, at a pedestrian crossing, pedestrians have priority over you. If you came to the end of a road, the traffic on the main road has priority over you, so therefore you should expect to stop until you realise there's no one there, and then you can carry on again. So if you can't see, come in slow. And be nice, don't harass people, don't hurry them along. That's a good way to get a good slap on the wrist from the examiner. Right, zebra crossings. Now, a zebra crossing is a flashing amber light phase. Okay, we all know, we've all seen these zebra crossings. Basically, if there's a pedestrian waiting to cross, whilst technically you don't have to stop for anyone unless their foot is physically on the crossing, no examiner will let you get away with that. If it's a chance that somebody might step out onto a crossing, you will give way to them. Unless you want to fail, choice is yours. Okay. Yeah, so keep checking around. When there is an island in the middle of the crossing here, then that is technically 2 crossings. If you think about this traffic light, because it is a light, if you made that actual traffic lights where you press the button to cross, in this instance, if somebody pressed the button, they could walk across like that and the light might go to green. They can't then press a button here to then stop the traffic lights again and carry on walking, could they? So that is 1 crossing. But if it was traffic lights on here, then they could get to there, then press a button to stop the traffic lights to get to the other part. So this is technically classed as 2 crossings. I have seen some places where you get an island in the middle, but if this light isn't on that island, if it's just the island, that is still 1 crossing, because you couldn't technically call the traffic lights. See what I mean? We can't have somebody stranded in the middle of the road, unable to stop the traffic. So it's this pole which is the thing that makes it 2 crossings, not the island. Alright. Right. So here you go. Rule 195. If someone is waiting to cross, let them. You must give way to anybody already on the crossing. Don't wave them or invite people out. There could be another vehicle coming. Alright. Be aware of people who might run into or onto the crossing from the side of it, as in like that. Alright. Right, so okay, there's the pole in the middle. I just told you all of that. There we go. So here's your summary. A zebra crossing is a black and white stripy pole with a flashing amber light on the top. You can either get a ball, which we've got in this picture here, or nowadays we actually get a LED halo that goes around a ball. Same thing. Give way to anyone who looks like they're going to step onto it. You cannot go onto a crossing if somebody is on it. I would like you to think of all pedestrian crossings like an inflatable pavement. So if there's no foot on it, it's deflated so that cars can drive on it. But as soon as somebody puts their foot on, it comes up and it is now a pavement. And of course, you're not allowed to drive on pavements. As soon as somebody's foot is off it, it deflates and you can drive again. So think of it as a physical inflating barrier in front of you, and that's a good way to think about it. All right. Don't invite people. You, by all means, when you're driving around on the driving test, you can create opportunities. So if you had a pedestrian waiting to cross a road, you can slow down and wait. If you invite people, though, it's the same principle as like when we go shopping. If you hold open a door to a shop for somebody, people feel obliged to sprint to come through the door, right? And so because you're sort of inviting. Now you often have to say, whoa, it's all right, there's no rush, take your time, just holding the door for you, right? Now, In a car, if you came up to the road, slowed down and went like this, especially if you did this, because that means hurry up, doesn't it? But if you went after you, people don't feel the urge to rush as much. However, they do tend to go, oh, thank you, and walk out into the road. Well, they don't check the other way to see if they're going to die or if there's somebody coming up beside you. So what you want to do is you want to slow down and create an opportunity. Don't invite in any way. They will then go, what is that car doing? And then they'll go, well, it looks like he's stopping. Weird. And then they'll walk across the road. So you've still done them a favour, but you haven't invited them out. And that's crucial. If you invite somebody out on your driving test, you're sitting 2 driving tests. Next. Lollipop, lollipop, lollipop. That is a song from God knows when. Right. Lollipop lady. There, she's got a massive pizza slice. Do you reckon they make pizza? They've got a pizza oven at home and they just whip out the lollipop lady and, well, the lollipop even. And, oh well. Never mind. Right, if that lollipop's down, it means not ready to cross. If they put it sideways, they're acting like a barrier to stop children flying out into the road. So it's holding pedestrians back. When they put, oh, you can't see my finger. When they put their lollipop up in the air, they go like that. That is the equivalent of a yellow light coming on a traffic light, so you should be prepared to stop. Don't get near them. You're going to have children running around. Just stay back, give them room. And then when it goes vertical like that, that is actually stop. I have heard that there are some new type of lollipops where there is a camera recording you and it sits in the middle of that black line there. So she goes, boom, and she's got a camera on you. So don't be a numpty. And then when she's cleared the road and it's all safe, she normally waves, thank you very much, and off you pop. Alright, but again, if there's still pedestrians in the road, don't do it.